a lot of things to talk about here, including the fact that even though the dire predictions were there, no government acted for decades on the vaccine rollout.
Yeah, it's a real failure by the Trudeau government, and our Canadian cousins deserve a lot better.
It's another week, and the questions continue to mount up for Justin Trudeau. No answers. Have a look. There's an old saying, never pick a fight with someone who buys ink by the barrel. That's certainly true for us on the print side of media. But what about someone like Jake Tapper's CNN, who has a megaphone and a massive audience? Well, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, it was probably not a great idea that you questioned some recent reporting by CNN. The Lead, his show, Jake Tapper's show, did a segment that really criticized Canada's vaccine rollout. You were asked about it in the House of Commons by Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole.
Jake Tapper told viewers around the world that the Canadian government had failed. Will the Prime Minister admit that his failure to secure sufficient vaccines is leading to a catastrophic third wave?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it's important that we stay grounded in the facts.
And you said that we need to deal with the facts. Well, Jake Tapper from CNN, with his megaphone, hit back and said, what facts does Justin Trudeau question in our reporting? Have a look.
Some bad news for our neighbors north on our world lead. Canada is now outpacing the United States in terms of coronavirus cases per capita. This is a concerning uptick, considering that the Canadian vaccine rollout is not going well at all. By comparison, in the U.S., more than 1 in 3 Americans have gotten at least their first shot. In Canada, fewer than 1 in 5 received their first shots.
It's a real failure by the Trudeau government. Now, those aren't the headlines in a Toronto Sun article, which you would expect it to be, but those were Jake Tapper's words, Prime Minister Trudeau. So what is it exactly that you question with respect to the reporting on your government's failure to supply the Canadians with the very much needed vaccines to fight and get out of COVID-19? Prime Minister Trudeau, we could hardly forget when you said, because it's 2015, that's when you put 50% of your cabinet as male and female. You're a self-professed feminist. You always say we should believe women. Well, we could hardly argue with you on that. You are the one that is always condemning anybody else when it comes to allegations of sexual misconduct or inappropriate behavior. Yet you are the very Prime Minister, you weren't then, but you were accused of groping a female reporter. You are the one that accidentally elbowed a female MP in the House of Commons. You elbowed her into her breast when you were feverishly rushing down the aisle in the House of Commons. So how do you explain your members of parliament this week when a very serious investigation into misconduct in the military was shut down by Liberal MPs, and they were aided and abetted by the separatists, by the Bloc? This goes back, of course, to the allegations of former General Vance and former Admiral MacDonald. Both men have been accused of sexual misconduct. The parliamentary committee that was looking into this was shut down. Now, there was a lot of testimony given, damning testimony given against your Prime Minister's office, Mr. Trudeau, about what you knew and when. And so we know we've seen this before. When things get a little too hot, your Liberal MPs shut down committees. We've seen it in other scandals that we've had. We Charity, lab scam. But this is very serious. The men and women in the Canadian Armed Forces, a member of which I used to be and proudly served, those men and women deserve better. Particularly, how are we going to give confidence for women that they do, when they do answer the call and they do move forward and have a career in the military, which is very much needed? How do we give them the confidence and the security that they will be listened to and that they will be safe when they join the military? When your Liberal MPs shut down the very investigation to try to tackle those questions. Prime Minister Trudeau, why don't you step back and reopen that investigation, or at the very least provide some answers to Canadians and to the Canadian forces on what happened and when? We as Canadians believe in equality, Prime Minister Trudeau. It's something that our country was fundamentally based upon. Those values are constantly espoused by many political leaders, yourself included. But isn't it time to put your money where your mouth is and listen to Conservative Member of Parliament Eric Duncan, who has been a champion to end the blood ban, where gay men are not allowed to donate blood.
They can simply change the questionnaire not to ask if you're gay or not, but ask about have you had unsafe sex in the last X number of days. It is a simple fix that is actually safer, that actually eliminates discrimination and stigma, and allows more people to be eligible to safely donate while screening off the blood.
The science is there, the facts are there. It is very easy to overturn this. But as Eric Duncan says, it's just a need of political will.
There is no reason why the science and the data and the information, the research is all there. All that's missing is the political will to get this done.
So why not just do the right thing, Prime Minister Trudeau? Show that political will, end the blood ban, and allow for equality amongst all Canadians when it comes to donating blood.
It's time to end the gay blood ban in Canada.
We always have questions, burning questions, but we know you do too. So send us some in the comments below. Log on to Facebook and Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.